Welcome to Blue Koala Office Solutions. We are here to help you grow with competitive rates and reliable sources, allowing you to expand and develop in an efficient way. Why do you need a virtual office address? Perhaps you're working from home, but you don't want to use your home address. You may be an expanding business and are looking to attract businesses in Newport and or Cardiff. Are you looking for an address you can register with Google and SEO? We offer flexible short-term agreements, super high-speed fibre, 24-hour access and security, meeting room for up to 6 people. We are located in Whitchurch, Cardiff, with easy access from M4 and A470, and as well as the meeting room, we also have a podcast studio and a film studio that you can rent on an hourly basis. We have created a cozy hidden gem where businesses can come together to brainstorm, as well as having a professional environment. So if you would like to find out more, get in touch. info@bluekoalaofficesolutions.com.
Good morning. It's Wednesday. That can only mean one thing, of course. Yes, Hump Day. Oh, no, sorry. Meet the Member Day. And we are joined today by the wonderful Danny Matthews from Danny & Co. We've worked and known Danny now for a while, so it's so lovely to have him on the show. Danny, welcome to Meet the Members, buddy.
Thanks for having me. I feel quite privileged and special, and yeah.
Oh, you are special.
You are, yes.
I mean, your mum always said you were special.
Oh, come on now. Danny, I was so excited to have you on the show, and so many people talk to us about branding and everything else. But for those people for those people who haven't met you before, give us a little bit of an insight about what you offer, please.
So I offer branding, graphic design services, and it's funny actually when I say those things out loud, they seem quite bland and same old. But actually, I always wanted to be a designer, and for whatever reason, I went to an all-boys sports college, and there just wasn't that much encouragement to take a creative career path, let's call it. And so I didn't. I just went and got a job, and I spent 10 years in financial services. And so actually, I feel like I've worked for this. I feel like I've earned the right to do what I love. And but actually, I don't regret the journey I have, because even though design's my skill, it's all that kind of commercial experience of running a mortgage and insurance broker for 10 years and being in the industry and dealing with a lot of businesses and being a B2B kind of business in insurance and mortgages. It's all that experience really that makes me valuable, I guess, as a designer. No formal education in that respect, all self-taught. And I've just learned to solve really meaningful business problems with design and branding. So I put it to work through Danny & Co.
Do you know what? You out of all of that, I took out one thing. I've worked hard to be where I am. I've worked hard for this. You've earned this. And I love that, because so many people, and us included, right? We've been through the corporate world, all right? Charlotte and I have both worked for massive companies. And then we're doing something that we love. And that's what it's all about. And do you know what, Dan? I feel as well, I also feel like I've earned the right to sit here and talk to you about your business and do what we love doing. I just picked out on that, and it struck a nerve with me. So I had to kind of say a monologue about it. But
yeah, I think we all have the right to enjoy what we do, but for the majority of us, like having a profitable business and having a business that's fulfilling, we usually think that they're like exclusive things. Like you can't have one. You can't have both. You have to have one or the other. You either have to have the profit and the money in the bank and it's okay, or you have to have something really fulfilling and not be able to earn the potential that you want. And I don't think that's right. I think if you fight for it, you can have both. You do the right things and you set yourself up for success, and you do things early on and you do things the right way. And I think you can do it. And so, yeah, I often do say, I really fought to do this. This isn't like I came out of, school or university and went, I'm just going to be a freelance designer or whatever. I really fought for it. And there was some real pain involved.
Yeah.
I want to give a little shout out because I know that you are a finalist at the Great British Entrepreneur Awards. So I want to give a massive shout out because that's an achievement in itself as well.
Are you going to the award ceremony?
I don't know yet.
Yes, mate, you have to come. You have to come with us because we're also finalists, so we can all sit on the same table.
Oh, amazing. Oh, fantastic.
Just had Gordon Brockman come on and he said, good morning, very wise words, Danny. And that's what I wanted to come back to because that is an achievement in itself. But like you were saying, you have fought for it. What would you say to the person that may be watching this and thinking, oh, yeah, that just sounds easy. You went from the corporate and just switched. Because we get so many people saying, oh, I want to do this one day, or I might want to do this. What would your sort of top tip be for those people watching?
There's no, I almost get a little bit annoyed, actually, when people say that, because I can't see anything but opportunity. Since we've had the internet, since I'm doing a panel talk next week about do we want to go back to normal? And the reason that I was excited to be involved is because there's so much opportunity now. Yeah. I think we have no right to complain about anything because there's so much. I don't know what people's minds are at. Like, if you want to do something, just go and do it. Like.
I wonder if this is why we get on so well, Dan.
Possibly, yeah.
But there is so much opportunity out there, and lots of people get stuck into oh, what's happened in this. But we can work from home. We can have lovely conversations. We've got potential to reach globally.
Absolutely, and this isn't the first pandemic we've ever been through, right? Let's not forget, 100 years ago they went through the Spanish flu, which was exactly the same, except they didn't have Zoom. And they didn't have the forms of communication that we have now. They didn't have the opportunities. However, this show is not about that, right? This show is about Danny and Co. So let's bring it back in because I can feel another show coming along, and I think we'll do this on a Tuesday live at 5. But Danny, talk a little bit about what it is to be. What is a brand? Like, is it just I've got a logo? That's all right, isn't it? But it's not, is it? What is it? What is a brand? What's it all about?
Yeah, branding is really broad. You'll find that people who print logos on mugs will say that that's branding. People that create social media posts with like a tool like Canva, for example, will say that that's branding. Coaches and consultants sometimes refer to branding as the mission, vision, and values of a business. And to be honest, the reason that I'm saying it's broad is because it is. Like, it includes all of that. But I think what is obvious to me with all the people that I speak to is that we often go straight to the visual elements of branding. It's the first thing that we see, things like logos and colors and typography and fonts and all those things. It's the first thing we see. We are visual as humans. That's kind of how we learn. So it's the first things we see. And I think because of that, we forget about all of the things that happen before the visual elements that make up the decisions you make for logos and design and whatever it might be. So I think it's easier to say what branding isn't than it is to say what branding is. And it's not a logo, and it's not colors, and it's not fonts, and it's not mission, vision, and value. It's none of those things individually. It's all of them. Mm-hmm. So really, a brand is like a perception. There's some great branding legends out there, Marty Neumeier, Wolf Ollins, and a lot of them have ways that they describe branding. And one of the great ways is that you don't own your brand, your customers do. Because essentially what you're building is a perception. And so that is a brand. Branding is just basically how you gear for the perception. So what you do to influence the perception that your customers have of you. So yeah, it's got a lot to do with influence, a lot to do with perception, which all seems very kind of theory and fluffy, but it all comes down to finding who you want to communicate with and making sure you communicate with them in the right place at the right time. And that's, I guess, why it overlaps a little bit with marketing, and it's often misconstrued as marketing. So yeah, it's the single most powerful thing in your business if you really understood it. And I believe that any problem can be solved with branding.
It's funny you say that, because when you were talking, I tend to drift off sometimes when people are talking, and I have my own, I kind of put it into my own head. And actually what I was getting is we have Cinobounds, right, which is our business. And Cinobounds is like a third person in our relationship, right? It's a living, breathing thing. But it's only a living, breathing thing. Actually, the branding is the face and the characteristic of that thing. And that's kind of that was what I got from what you were saying then, was actually your business is just a thing. But actually, when you start putting the clothes on and the face and the character, that's when you start talking about the branding. And it's the identity. That's what that's where I'm drifting off with this. I don't know if I'm on the right path or whether I'm just jibber-jabbering.
Yeah, the branding is such as I say, a broad topic, but also a broad conversation, because you can go very deep into the identity element of it. The reason that we buy designer clothes is a very interesting conversation. The reason that we buy bottled water is a very interesting conversation. And it's all to do with branding. We want to attach ourselves to an identity or to relate to something that is meaningful to us. So we just have to find a way to communicate with people in a meaningful way, in a compelling way, so they buy from us. That's what we're doing as businesses. There's also a really interesting conversation, again, broadly around what you said with logos and storytelling is a big conversation. So yeah, we could go in all kinds of directions here, but it's all part of it. That's why, and that is why I try to explain to people that it's so powerful, because there are all these very deep elements you could go down rabbit holes with.
I think it's really important to kind of listen to your customers as well, because they, like you were mentioning earlier, they kind of own the brand because they need to relate to the brand. It's all very well that you might like, a baby with a pink cat if you're selling baby clothes, but if nobody else is going to relate to it, it's just not going to work. It's sort of, but I want to take it back, because you did a fantastic presentation in one of the networks that we both attend a little while ago, and you were saying that small businesses can actually learn quite a lot from what big companies do, because they have the power sort of to do more stats. They have budgets behind these sort of things. So tell us a little bit about what we can pick up by looking at other sort of branding and what their big, massive corporate companies do.
Yeah, kind of related to that and what you were saying before is that we're often trying to figure out what to do next and what's most important and all those things. And really, we can learn from larger companies because they have the data and the budgets and they know what's going on in consumers' minds. That's what they're really good at. And we could learn from that. When you spot a John Lewis ad at Christmas that all of a sudden has nothing to do with a product, or a company, but it has something more to do with a story and an emotional connection with a business, you start to realize that the way people are behaving and the way people are buying things and what they connect with is changing. And the more that we pick up on that as small businesses, the more we'll realize that we have to start communicating a different way. Pandemics do some serious things with our mentality and our psychological well-being and the way that we think about things. And we as small businesses will really miss out on an opportunity if we don't get to grips with that and change the way that we're communicating with our customers. So I think that's really important. And actually, going back to your other point, it's the amount of conversations I have with clients where we get to a point in the branding process where I have to say, this isn't about you anymore, Steve. Like we're trying to communicate with your client, not with you. So it doesn't matter if you like 4 shades of green. Your customers don't like that. you know, and so there is an element of like real talking to that I have to do with people, because it's not really about us. It's about the clients and the customers and how we're communicating and attracting them. So that's one thing to always bear in mind.
Yeah.
So let's go down now into the what you do and the cracks of what you do as an actual business. So I've come to you, I'm brand new in business, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. Am I an ideal customer for you, or would you prefer working with people that, you know, are in business and are looking to actually develop their brand? Where do you sit, or do you cover all of it?
So we have two types of primary customer. One of them is a small business, just like you. Usually you get to a point where you've been in business for a couple of years. You've felt the excitement and you've built up the business, you've got some customers, and all of a sudden you hit a point where you think, we have an opportunity and I don't think we're ready. So a lot of the clients that I deal with are at that point, and what they need is, they almost need this renewed sense of vitality in the business. They need this, I call it brand confidence as our trademark. And they just feel like if they knew what they were saying and they knew what journey their customers went through, and if they understood them a little bit more, they could create and design a brand that attracts those people. And it's the renewed confidence and vitality that people get from having all of that aligned and in its place. Sometimes I get comments saying, why do you always look like you've got your shit together? And I think that's it. You know, I think it's just because I do know what I want out of this business, and I know what kind of clients that I want to work with. So the other side of it is startups. I love working with pre-funded startups. You know, they usually come to me and say, we've been through like an accelerator program or a course or something. We're at the point now where we need to go get investment and we need to look good. And that's when we have a conversation about, that's great that you want to look good, but there's a lot more to it than that, and we have to scale it back a bit. But they're kind of the two types of clients that we work with. And to be honest, I was speaking to someone yesterday, and we were talking about the type of clients that we attract, and a lot of them are, there's this thing where I call it purpose. You know, people are often trying to define this thing called purpose. And the way I define it is, if you as a business has a transaction with a client or customer, who else benefits from that? Because it can't just be you two if you want to have some purpose as a business. You have to think about who else it affects. So if you can define someone else that benefits, or another organization or another person in that transaction, you're on your way to finding a really good sense of purpose in the business. And I like working with businesses that that are looking for that. It's beyond money. It's beyond the financial aspect of business. There is another cause or another purpose. And whether they need to find it or they've found it already, they're the kind of people I want to deal with.
And that must
Really
be
good.
so exciting as well.
Yeah.
Because you get to start the journey with them and kind of build them, and also get them to understand what branding is about. Because we find we work with a lot of startups, and a lot of startups have kind of come forward and they might have designed their own logo, but then sort of a year in, they go, I need a change now. I've grown, and I love that. I absolutely love when you can see that passion is developed, the confidence is developed, and they want to kind of start looking outside of their environment and their audience and grow. And that's fantastic.
So should we go over to the comments quickly?
Yeah.
So we had a comment from Gordon, said, congratulations, well deserved all. That's obviously for the Great British Entrepreneur Awards. Did we mention that we were finalists? All of us, by the way. And we're finalists in 2 categories, which means we've got basically one each, right? So, you know, just saying. Hashtag. And then Gordon said, how do you cope with beating your head against a brick wall when you're not making headway? That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure what he means, but I'm going to assume when you're not getting the message across, Danny. So, do you ever get to that point where you're just like, oh, I'm not getting anywhere with this?
Yes. And the most common problem that I face, or when businesses and people come to me and say, I need this doing, or I need this sorting, it's always more than likely to do with how they are, or what their message is, or how they're positioning their message. almost always businesses are very, we become very tempted to showcase what we do and what our value is to people that we deal with, and what kind of results we get for clients and those kinds of things. But the way we communicate that has two different perspectives, and I think more commonly than not we do it the wrong way. So it's I can see from anyone's website if they convert visitors to leads or not, mostly because their website statements and messaging start with the word we. And from a behavioral point of view, when visitors visit a website and the first word they see is we, it's not about them anymore, so they switch off. So we might not realize it, but subconsciously people go to the website and go, oh, this isn't for me, because because they're reading a statement that's about you, and they don't care about you in the nicest way. So the biggest problem I see is the messaging, the way that we create our message. And the most simple change you can make is change all of the we sentences to you or your sentences, and you'll see a big difference.
Great top tip. So yeah. Emma's come on as well, Emma Ward, and she said SMEs should definitely use the corporates to look for trends without losing sight of their own customers' psychology. That's a really good question, a really good statement to make, actually. So this is taken on what you were saying. So, if you got a fizzy drink, for example, that you're looking to sell, obviously there's some big corporate companies out there, but they've got their own messages. What you have to do is make sure that your message and your customers don't get lost in the translation, right?
Yes, it was done really well by Dollar Shave Club in America, where they did this really funny ad that went a bit viral. And yes, it was funny. Yes, it went viral. Yes, it was a good watch. But actually, the underlying message was kind of, you're buying from these big corporates, and the money's going, to their profit bank or to their CEO or whatever. And it was the guy who owns the company basically saying, we make these blades by hand. We really care for you. And this is the journey you go through and the journey we go through to get the product in your hand. And it's a different way to communicate it. It's using big corporate science and behaviors. And it's taking that and saying, look, we're just little guys trying to do the right thing. And it really caught people's attention. So I think we're really good at reading between the lines as humans.
And I think sometimes you forget that, don't you? Because you just think about what you can offer, and you see a lot of selling on social media and stuff as well. Like, we sell this, we do this, the services that we offer are this. Sometimes that storytelling and messaging can be so important.
We get it sometimes as well, like us, right? So because we never ever promote See No Bounce, right? We always promote the members within See No Bounce. And quite often people say to us, but you never promote yourself. You never tell people what you're doing. And we're like, well, we are, because what we do is sell our customers. So by promoting our customers, we are showing what we are doing. And it's about that understanding that actually we are not important. The customers are important, because without the members on the platform, we don't exist. So we've had some great conversations around that. We have had some great conversations around that. So we've got another message coming in from Gordon. And Gordon has said, thanks for that, Dan. We'll have a good look at my message on my website, which is great. So because Gordon obviously does auctions and valuations, so very clear message, very niche message as well. We have to end the show at some point, right, Dan? Not that I want to, because I genuinely love chatting with you.
And we could go down many rabbit holes.
I tell you,
we'll have to have you back very soon.
We will. Danny. I think we need a podcast. We definitely need a chat show. Maybe we could call it Going Down a Rabbit Hole with Danny Matthews. But if someone wants to talk to you about their brand, their messages, their strategy, how would they find you, Danny?
Easiest way is search for me on LinkedIn. You'll find me, Danny Matthews. You can go to the website, dannyand.co, or drop me an email, hello@dannyand.co.
Simple.
Fabulous.
And of course, they can find you on the best business directory in the whole wide world, which is, of course, seenobounce.co.uk. And if you don't know where that is, it's right by there. So listen, from all of us, thank you so much to everybody who left a comment, get in touch with Dan. He knows his stuff. Oh, one more comment came in. Dan is very on point and makes his message very easy to understand. So thank you. On that bombshell, I've got nothing else to say. So from all of us and the lovely Danny Matthews, you take care and have a lovely day. Take care.
Thank you so much. Happy Hump Day.
Thank you, guys.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. I am chuffed to be sitting here on a Friday afternoon with Terry, James and Chance. And you're in Lydney at the moment. How are you?
I am. I'm in the warehouse. I'm absolutely frozen. So I'm very envious of you being sat on the sofa. I'm sat on the sofa, but it's freezing in here.
Oh, well, you can't really put the heating on for yourself, can you? And it's a big, beautiful building. So if you haven't been, I can't stress enough how lovely it is. So we're going to share some little hints and tips of what's coming up for fashion in the spring, aren't we?
Yeah, I just, well, it's always nice to come on and share sort of updates with you. But, you know, I'm on the countdown now. It will be 4 weeks on Monday that we can reopen. So the 12th of April. And sort of been ticking along the last couple of months. Sales online have been really good. January was amazing. February was good. March has sort of slowed down, but I kind of get that really. So it's been a good time for me to sort of consolidate. I haven't really got an awful lot of my autumn winter stock left now, which is brilliant. So I'm looking at the new stock to come in. So I've got a few bits that I can show you just to give you an idea of what's come in recently. But like I said, last month was good, as in the new bits and pieces that I got in, they went straight out. In fact,
people are desperate, Terry. we bought so many, you know, Zoom tops, as I call it, and we're now desperate to get out and buy again and just see some faces. And yes,
I think everybody's ready for some colour. I mean, I naturally, in my wardrobe, it's black, navy and grey. It's very boring, and which is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. There's no need for it at all. So I think the spring always makes us think, oh yeah, we need a bit of colour in our lives. So
I love the top you're wearing today, that lovely pink and grey. And
this was the last of the rainbow tops and probably the most conservative. It's sort of a very subtle blend of pinks and greys. But we had in really bright limes, oranges, yellows, sort of acid colours. And I have reordered, but they haven't come in time for today, unfortunately. So they're to come. But, you know, really moving forward, everything that comes in from this point onwards, ready for opening on the 12th of April, will be quite vibrant. And I can't wait to be able to dress I mean, I've sort of pulled everything in for our time here today, basically because the space is so vast. If I was to put it out in its place, it would look empty. But it will be absolutely chock-a-block for when I reopen on the 12th.
Yeah, I can't wait. And if like I said earlier, if people haven't been, it's a really lovely, beautiful place that just feels safe as well to browse. So if you're a little bit nervous about going out and go shopping, you will not feel nervous. It's so beautiful and there's plenty of space and you will be looked after like a queen. I can guarantee that. So we can't wait to see you again. And it's beautiful walks as well, so you can make a day out.
Absolutely. If you've got dogs, we're right on the Harbour Road in Lydney, in the Forest of Dean. So, you know, if you come, you know, you can come to us first or after. You can walk along the down by the docks, along the River Severn. It's beautiful. It really is. I mean, fair enough. We're a warehouse on an industrial estate that isn't so pretty, but like you say, we try to give the warmest welcome when people come in, and just a really lovely, relaxed atmosphere. But I will just say as well, if anybody that does want to come and visit, who is still very anxious or not comfortable with shopping you know, generally with the public, although this is a big space, and even when I'm busy, it's so easy not to be in contact with anybody. I really am happy just staying on later of an evening if people want to come over outside of normal times. It's really not a problem, because I know it's going to be that awkward sort of time, really, for people need to feel comfortable and confident to come back out into the real world. So I'll try and make it.
When we came up to see you, I mean, Jamie loved it because he gets treated to a coffee on the sofa and I can just browse as much as I like. But it's also very accessible as well. So if you have sort of disability problems or anything, or if you're in a wheelchair, it's very, very easy access. So I know it's a warehouse, but it feels so cool and trendy, and you know, you've made it look beautiful. So what sort of colours, if we're going into the spring now, what sort of colours? Because I've heard that this blue brand colour is coming in, so I might have to do lots of shopping for the whole year.
I will whiz round. I'll switch the camera round, which is the techie bit I need my glasses for, and just show you what I have at the moment. But coming in is going to be all the vibrant colours. So I kind of missed a trick, really, but they will be coming in over the next couple of weeks in time for opening. But right, here we go. Let me swap the camera around. And
I love the vibrant colours, just seeing that.
We'll start with some vibrant colours. So spring summer ranges typically have quite a lot of linens and cottons. So these are just some samples, really. So and you know, the best thing, they are all one size, and we all know that one size doesn't necessarily fit all, but that's the joy of coming here, is the fact that we do have really lovely spacious changing rooms, and there's no time limit. You can stay as long as you want and try on as many pieces of clothing and accessories as you choose to. But all of these tops here are just £20. So I really do
lovely colours.
Yeah, I try and keep my prices as you know, as competitive as I possibly can. But they're just, you know, coming up into when the nicer weather comes, they're fantastic. You can dress them up or dress them down. So yeah, so that's sort of some nice bright colours that we'll definitely have more in. We do like a bit of sparkle. So this is a long length t-shirt with some pockets. It's actually the back of the t-shirt that you can see, but they're covered in they've got angel wings and they're covered in sequins.
That's lovely.
It's really pretty. So it's completely plain on the front, and that will come in lots of different colours as well. I think you've seen these before. This is a two-piece. It comes with a scarf actually as well, but it's a vest top with a sort of another top over the top. And again, that's just £20. And that
very versatile as well, isn't it? You can kind of dress that up as well.
At the moment, we've just got sort of quite pastel colours in that, but coming up, again, it's all the other colours. I put this on Facebook actually the other day. It's one of the few jumpers that we've got left, but it's a shorter length one. I know a lot of people like jumpers to cover their bottom and their tummies, but it's a slightly shorter one.
You know me too well, Terry. I always message you and ask, what's the length? Does it cover my bum?
It is, but it's quite wide. You can wear it off the shoulder. But with the magic trousers, this is a new design in the magic trousers. It's like a marble effect. And again, they're great. They're really good. We'll have lots of new scarves. This is one of our new ones. But our scarves they're around about the £10 mark. And again, that's what I love about the spring, is the fact that scarves, people can wear them as wraps, as you know, just a really nice loose accessory. So we'll have lots of those.
I love that orange colour as well.
Yeah, that sort of corally colour is beautiful at this time of year. So I've definitely got lots of quite feminine things coming in. So this is beautiful. This is sort of a lace and cotton blouse. But I will have dresses, cotton dresses, and sort of quite frill, lots with frills in that I've noticed this sort of season. So quite ingenue, that sort of very feminine feel. And again, this is a new design in the magic trouser. I thought when I first saw it, I thought, oh, I'm not sure if I like that. But do you know what? It's grown on me. It really has. And I think with a really nice sort of crisp shirt or T-shirt, the design sort of on the bottom half will work really, really well.
That would probably look really nice with the sort of more feminine top that you just showed, because it's such a contrast, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But by far the most popular design in the magic trousers are the animal print. So we've got a few different colours now. Again, sort of pinks and the white and the pale blue. So they're just a standard. They'll just carry on all the way through the season. And again, the magic trousers come in plain, and they also come in various different patterns, camouflage. So that sort of gives you an idea.
For people who haven't heard about the magic trousers, because I didn't realise until I came to see you when we could see you last year, and they really are magic trousers, aren't they?
They are. They're amazing. So they come in two sizes. So they come in a standard size, which is typically a 10 to a 16, and they also come in an extra large, which is typically 18 to sort of 22. Now we all got different shapes and sizes and lumps and bumps in places we'd rather not have them, but they're very stretchy. And well, I'm a real standard sort of 14, but with a thin leg, but I'm quite rounded in the middle, so they're just so much more comfortable than jeans, and I don't have a muffin top when I wear them. So I think they're just, you have to, if you've got bigger thighs or a bigger bottom, then, you know, and sort of the 16 mark, then the XL might be better. But again, it's another reason to come and try them on. Come and try them and see what you think.
I love them because they look more and feel more like a proper trouser. So you feel more dressed up than if you're just wearing leggings. And quite frankly, I think all of us are quite happy to get out of leggings and big jumpers now, but maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Most definitely. I mean, I always turn mine up because I'm quite short. I'm only 5'4". I've got quite a short leg, but I suit better a sort of a 3/4 length trouser. So they're brilliant for me, spring or summer. But we'll also have some silks in as well. Some really pretty, quite feminine, easy to wear tops. Again, one size. And believe it or not, the white magic trousers, I can't keep up with these. I've had another delivery of them this week. So people are really starting to think about sort of the spring and sunnier weather and wearing lighter things.
We had such a beautiful weather in the beginning of the week as well, didn't we? So it gives us, and I'm hoping it's going to be quite nice on the weekend as well.
Well, I hope so. And when I've got all the stock and it's all set out, we'll do another live and I'll walk everybody around the warehouse the showroom as it stands. But I try to sort of collate colours and blend colours so that, because typically we might like cooler tones, or some of us like warmer tones. So I try to kind of group things so that actually makes it easier for you to sort of connect with the colours that suit you, or that suit you. That's kind of,
that really works for me. That's why I love coming to see you, because I know exactly kind of what colours I like, and as you know, I'm not your general sort of lover of shopping. So going somewhere where I can find everything under one roof, where I know where the color coding is perfect for me. It's just makes it a lot easier, and also the welcome that you get is just lovely. And there's so many little bits to look at, which I love. You know, the accessories, the handbags, the scarves. But I'm not, because I'm not a person that likes to go in and out of shops on the high street. So this is my perfect place to shop.
Oh, well, that's brilliant.
So
I mean, feedback since we've moved from it, I mean, we literally just had a very small, tiny little holding room, really, between our fashion shows. So since moving here last September, I can't believe it's 7 months ago. And out of the 7 months, we've only actually traded for 10 weeks. I mean, it's really, quite, you just can't, I can't sort of reconcile that in my head, really. But yeah, I'm so excited to be reopening. I can't wait.
I've got some lovely news that you wanted to share with us live today, when people come and visit the shop.
Absolutely. So we open on the 12th of April at 10 o'clock. So that's Monday the 12th at 10 o'clock. And anybody that visits us from the 12th of April right through to the 30th of April, we will put into a prize draw for £100 gift voucher to spend with us, which we will pull the draw on the 30th of April. So hopefully that will give a little bit of an incentive for people to come and actually visit us. Those that have been before know what they're doing, where they're coming, and the warm welcome that they receive. But if you have never been before, we would absolutely love to welcome you.
Oh, that is such a lovely little incentive as well for people who, everyone has struggled, I think, in the last lockdown, and just to be able to go out again, but more so feeling safe to go out again, because that's really, really important for us. I don't want to go into little crammed places and things. I still want to feel like I can feel safe and being just cautious, I think is the word.
It's going to take a little time, isn't it? It's going to take a little time. But the more I keep getting a low battery thing come up on my iPad.
We might lose you in a minute, but talking quickly about gift vouchers. So Mother's Day, obviously on Sunday, and if you haven't got a Mother's Day present and you like what you've seen now with the fashion and then lots of new things coming in, you can do digital gift voucher. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Any £5 increments for £5 gift vouchers up. So if anybody would like a gift voucher, I can send them one digitally, or in lieu I can hold it here, and it really doesn't matter. And yeah, just all they have to do is either message me via our Facebook page, which is Terry Chance Boutiques and Fundraising Fashion Shows, or send me a quick email again, which is inquiries@Terry Chance Boutiques.
I put out the link later on as well on the Sina Bounce, the hub, and obviously you can find Terry on the best business directory in the world, the Sina Bounce. Just type in Terry Jameson, Terry Chance, and it will come up automatically in the search bar. So I'll be sharing a few of the photographs as well, so people would know where to find you. So there's absolutely no excuse to forget Mum this weekend. So get in touch, and we can't wait to see more of what you got coming, Terry. I am thrilled that 4 weeks doesn't sound that long, so we can cope, and we can soon come and see you again. So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It's really lovely to see you, even if it's just virtual.
Thank you so much.
You have a lovely, lovely weekend, and I will catch up with you very soon again.
Thanks, Charlotte. Thank you.
Thank you.